Today's double feature has a pair of movies that will remind you of other, better movies. Also, they both take place in hilltop motels or lodges. Look, I put a lot of work pairing these things up. It's not easy, you know. 1981's Ghostkeeper begins with a title card about the legend of the Wendigo. Wendigo. Which, depending on your preferred version of that legend, is probably going to end up being highly misleading. Also highly misleading, this box art for Ghostkeeper. That movie looks awesome. This one isn't. Our story begins with some dumbass snowmobilers tooling around on snowmobiles. This one lady rides while sitting on her knees, which doesn't seem safe at all, but who cares, these rich assholes already suck for plenty of other reasons. The dumbass snowmobilers see a sign that says keep out, so they go in. And as a result of their dumbassery, they get stuck in the snow and are forced to take refuge in an abandoned lodge. They bounce around inside the lodge for a while, touching everything and basically being jackasses. We get a cat scare at the 17-minute mark, which, go to hell, but at least also something finally happened. So, the dude and the brunette are a couple, and the blonde is just a third wheel. However, the dude is totally into the blonde and wants nothing to do with his actual partner. It makes no sense, especially after the blonde tells this horrifying story about how she decided to be a hooker in high school for fun.
Once, when I was 16, I had this uncontrollable urge to want to do it for money. You know, like being a hooker.
Much later, they meet an old woman when she attacks them. But then all is immediately forgiven, and she lets them stay in her lodge after giving them a bit of a tour. The old woman has a fondness for the brunette, telling her that she's strong. Alrighty. Blondie goes to take a bath and is suddenly drowned by a mountain man. And then he takes her to a mountainlier man. There's an ancillary character who we see walking through the snow, presumably looking for the missing trio, who gets scatmanned the second he finally walks into the lodge. Main dude goes crazy and ends up freezing to death outside, and the brunette ends up staying behind to become the new caretaker of the Monster Man. It's The Shining, but without any substance whatsoever. The print that's available on Amazon Prime as of this recording is good and scratchy, and I think in this case that kinda helps the film. A nice pristine print would let you focus solely on the fact that nothing is happening. And I know I keep saying that, but there's something to Ghostkeeper even though there's nothing to it. I can't put my finger on what made me so interested. I mean, a cheaper slasher version of The Shining with only 2 victims at most doesn't sound very good on paper. Maybe it was just the logistics of the filmmaking process, working in that much snow and so on. I don't know, really. Again, maybe it's the joy of seeing a cold environment when it's 120 degrees outside. All I know is that I wasn't as bored as I am with most movies where I lament that nothing is happening. Now, speaking of movies where nothing happens that aren't good, to continue the theme, clumsily, let's talk about 2007's Ice Spiders, which doesn't at all subscribe to the Jaws theory of not showing the monster in order to build suspense. We're only a couple of minutes in, and yep, there are the ice spiders, complete with spider vision, which seems really annoying. I mean, I don't know how these spiders manage to even move with this kind of eyesight. Oh, and speaking of Jaws...
Stand still, you son of a...
Ice Spiders features no less than 3 stars of the 90s series Melrose Place, although this was not the Vanessa Williams I was expecting. No matter, because inexplicably it also stars Stephen J. Cannell, you know, the typewriter guy. Okay, maybe you don't know who that is. He was a prolific writer and TV show creator who gave us things like The Rockford Files, The A-Team, and Renegade. I'm baffled as to why he's in this. I mean, he's fine and does have some other acting credits, but how does the creator of Hardcastle and McCormick say, yeah, Ice Spiders, I want to act in that? Anyway, in a nutshell, there's a secret research base next door to the ski lodge that Mr. Typewriter runs, and they've been trying to make bigger spiders in order to utilize their webbing for military purposes. It's not as nefarious as these plots usually get, but of course a couple of dudes on the project thought things weren't progressing fast enough, so they fed the spiders super-duper growth stuff, and the spiders super-duper grew. They get out and bother people on the slopes.
Rick! Chaz, come on! I got you, hang on!
On the other side of things, we've got an Olympic ski team in training at the lodge, where former ski competitor Dash Dashel works. No one involved likes spiders, and so everyone does what they can to not get disemboweled by the giant creatures, since that's what the spiders seem to be into the most. On one hand, Ice Spiders is better than most Sci-Fi Channel fare, but on the other, it's still pretty bland and uninteresting. Also, either they were filming in spring, or it was a very mild winter here at this ski lodge because the snow just isn't that impressive. In fact, some of the skiing moments seem to be a little dangerous considering how much rocky, non-snow covered ground is exposed. Worth noting that this is from the director of The Gate, which is why I gave it a shot over the dozens of other potential Massacre at a Ski Lodge movies. Also, during the closing credits, it's revealed that Fred Olin Ray served as a production consultant. Nothing has ever made more sense.
Race over, Ugly! You lose!
It's dead! It's dead!
Hey, Doc. Nice rack.